Now, before we start, may I ask how many of you, the attendees now, we have about 17. How many of you got an assistantship, internship so far? I know Amir and the engineering club is helping you guys get that. And I'm also working on obtaining some internships. So how many of you secured an internship? Like you can just write in the chat, you say me, for example, then I'll count the number of the people. I will share a Google document with you. And in this document sheet, we're just gonna write each one's name and the company that they secured an internship with. If you didn't, just say that you didn't secure an internship. Okay. So let's start. This is the Google Classroom that we have. All right. Before I start talking about what's in the Google Classroom, which is simply just the forms that you need. If you look over here, you see files and info, and you also have the syllabus. The syllabus just tells you what's required and the grades and so on. So we're going to talk about that. But for now, let me explain to you how the internship works. Now, the regulations that we put in the department is that you cannot take the internship with any other course, meaning that you cannot take a course and internship at the same time. So if you are taking a course during the summer, you will have to wait until after you finish the course to take the internship. And that will be around August 1st or August 2nd. So if you are taking a course during the summer, you cannot take your internship until you finish that course. And that will be around August 1st or 2nd. You know, it depends on when do you finish your final exam for the summer course. Now, once you start your internship, you are required to do a training. It's almost like a full-time job for a minimum of 4 weeks. If you can afford to do more than 4 weeks, that's fine, but you cannot do less than 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks is fair enough time for you to at least experience the work environment and get used to the way that real life projects and factories and establishments work. So this is the first thing. Now, if you are not taking any summer courses, then you can start your internship anytime you want during the summer, provided that you have 4 weeks of training. Is this clear to you guys? Do you have any question regarding that?
Yes,
it's clear.
Doctor.
Yes, please.
Go
ahead. Diaco, yes. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you okay. Doctor, for example, I have classes.
Okay.
Therefore, I will be doing it in August, the internship. So when should I fill out the steps?
Well, you can fill it out now, or you can fill it out, let's say 1 week before you start your internship. It's already up to you. I mean, when we talk to the companies, we will tell them, for example, that this group of students will be joining you in August. Or when you communicate with a company, you will tell them that I will join you in August 1st because now I'm taking classes and I cannot take the internship with the class at the same time. Now, all of you registered for the class, which means that you do have the intention to take this class during the summer. Now, if you are taking classes, then you either tell the company that you're going to join them in August, or you wait until like 1 week before the summer is over and you communicate with the company and tell them I'm going to start August 1st or August 2nd. Did I answer your question, Diaco?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Okay. Anyone else has a question? I heard someone trying to ask a question. All right. So this is how the system works. Now, let's take a look at the syllabus and see what's required from you guys to successfully pass the internship. Now, usually, if you go to any other university other than AUIS, the internship is really just a training. So there is no grade attached to the internship. It's either pass or fail. So if you do a good internship training, you pass this course without any grade. And if you don't do it correctly, or the place that you go to is not a good place, or you haven't learned anything, then you have a fail. Over here at AUIS, it's still considered as a course. So you will have to get a grade. Usually, I would rather give the students an A in this course because simply it's a pass or fail. So if you pass, I would like to give you the best passing grade for that. However, I want you guys to help me, earn that grade, okay? Don't slack off and do something that's just half-baked job to get this done. No, it's an opportunity for you to learn, and try to learn as much as you can. And also try to submit a good report that shows that you have actually learned something from this. And the reason, you see, before I came to the chairmanship of this department, the internship was canceled and they substituted it with a course. That was not a great idea. Why? Because usually internship is your gateway to a job, meaning that if you go do your training with a company and you impress them with your skills, with your punctuality, you always go on time, you take care of the jobs that are assigned to you and everything, they might actually, more than likely, they will, if they have an opening, they will hire you. You will be the first candidate to get that job. So it's really a way to get your foot into the door of a real-time or real-life job. That's why training is very important. And also you make connections, you get into, the engineers that work there, the managers and things like that. So even if they don't have a job for you, this good network that you establish from training, it could help you in the future. For example, do business with these if you're planning on making your own business, or if they have an opening, they can always have you like on their list of candidates for this job. So it's really good to do the internship. It's very important for you as an engineer to do that. Now, let's see what's required from you. We have about 4 things that I evaluate on. The first thing that I evaluate on is the mentors survey. And this is your manager. The mentor is your manager at the company that you work at. So let's say you worked at Qiwan Group, for example. Your manager, your direct manager, the person that supervises your work, gives you the assignments and everything, at the end of your internship, they will receive a form from me. And based on that form, they will evaluate you. And the evaluation will be about 10 criteria, which covers all of these requirements over here. For example, you carry the tasks assigned to you, you're able to communicate, you're able to manage time and resources, and so on. So there are these tasks that's required from the internship. Your mentor is going to tell me whether or not you have fulfilled these tasks. I'll show you how the mentor evaluation. This is the highest grade in your internship, because your direct manager is the one that knows everything about you during the internship. He or she, of course, are the ones that's gonna give you the work, and they will evaluate your performance and so on. So they are the one that knows the most about your performance. Now, we said that the internship is 4 weeks minimum. So I expect you after 2 weeks or after 3 weeks to give me a progress report. Just tell me, what did you do during these 3 weeks? Okay, what kind of progress? What did you learn? And so on. There is a template for the report, which is also in the forms. I'll talk to you about that. Now, your final report is gonna tell me exactly what you learned, what kind of machines you worked with, what kind of people you worked with, what were your tasks and duties, and how much did you learn, and so on. So the final report, you have to submit 2 reports. There is a mentor survey and there is an instructor evaluation. This evaluation is I'm the instructor, not the mentor. The mentor is your supervisor at work. So the instructor, which is me, the instructor of this course, will evaluate you. And my evaluation, as you notice, is minimum. It's only 5%. And this just depends on if you submit your reports on time, if we have a meeting, you attend those meetings, and so on. So, it's just very minimal. Now, these are, as we said, the things that we are going to evaluate you at. Let me show you how the mentor survey looks like, how the report looks like. Of course, the progress report and the final report are almost 1 minute. So when you do the progress report in the first 3 weeks, you just add to it another 1 or 2 weeks of work and you create the final report. The reason I made the progress report is, first of all, to update me on your work, to see what you're doing, and also to urge you or to force you to prepare the reports, because a lot of students, they get busy with other things, so they leave things until the last minute. And if you're required to submit the report, let's say 2 days from now, you're going to wait until today to do your report. So that's bad, because you wind up doing just a quick half-baked job, as we said, and you submit a bad report and you don't get a good grade. But the progress report will help you, do the report early, and then after a week or 2 weeks, you will add to it. So you will have your report prepared beforehand. So the reason I'm doing this is for your own benefit, actually, just to help you, get the job done as required. Let's see how the files look like. Now, if you remember, I shared with you this Google Classroom. By the way, do you have any questions before we just move on further? So just going back to what we just said, we have 4 things that you are evaluated on. The mentor survey, that's your supervisor at work. He's going to evaluate you, and that carries 40% of your grade. And then you have a progress report, and then you have a final report, and then you have my evaluation, which is only 5%. So your 2 reports and your mentor evaluation will carry 95% of the grade. So you better do a good job at the company, because they are the ones that's going to evaluate you, actually. It's not me. So if you get a low grade in the internship, I don't want you to think that I am the one who's giving you that. It's actually your report, and your mentor were not happy with your performance. So please make sure to impress them, because if you do impress them, they might actually hire you or give you a job, or at least keep you in mind in the future for the job. Now, for the step 1, this is if you have not gotten your internship yet, you will talk to a company, or we will talk to a company, and then send them this letter to request that they give you an internship. And this letter is just simply to say that you are a student at AUIS, and now you're eligible for training at their facility. And most of the companies require that, because they want an official request from AUIS to provide you with an internship. So this is the first step. Now, if you already secured your internship, you don't need this anymore, because you already have an internship opportunity. If you don't have an internship, then you can go look for a company, and we will look also for a company. And if you find one, tell them that, or tell me what is the name of the contract. You can send me an email, tell me that I know this person at this company. Please send them a request, internship request, which is this letter, support letter, we call it, to say that I am a student and I need internship. Now, once we send them this, all right, they will send me an email back saying that we agree to hire X person as an intern at our company. Do you guys understand the process now? So if you don't
Yes.
have, if you don't have an internship yet, then we can send, you need to send me the name of the contact, or the person that you know, or the manager, or the CEO, whoever you know at that company. And if you agree with them to get an internship, You send me their names. I will send them this letter. Of course, over here, I'll put your name and the company's name and so on. So this is an official letter to request an internship position for you. They will send me an email saying, okay, we accept this person. Now, once they accept you, then we have step 2 over here. Hi guys, and this is just to keep track of every student. Okay, I have a name over here. Sorry about that, but this is the internship registration procedure and approval form, meaning that this is the form that's going to tell me, for example, Abdullah is at this company, okay? Chwartra near Family Mall, for example, this is where Abdullah is doing his internship. We have, for example, a lady that's doing at Qaywan or a student that's doing. So I have all these forms. I know exactly where each student is doing their internship and also what is the organization name, or which division, because some companies have divisions, like Qaywan Group, they have this refinery, they have construction, you know, they have divisions, or they call it subsidiaries or subgroups. Where they're located at and your contact person or manager, because I need this information because I'm going to send them the mentor survey. So I need full information over here, the contact person name. I'm sorry, I always have a hard time recognizing male and female names. So please make sure to tell me, for example, this is Miss, you know, Berzi, for example, or Mr. Berzi or something. So I'll know exactly when I communicate with them, whether I'm talking to a male or a female. And also send me their, or write down their email and their telephone number. This is just my evaluation of the company, because we keep this on record, and hopefully next year or the year after, we will contact the same people and ask them to provide our students with internships, for example, next year and so on. So this is for our record. Now over here, there are some instructions that, of course, down here it says that the internship must not overlap with other courses. I just explained that to you. You cannot take the internship and the course at the same time. We cannot provide you with any financial support because, you know, like transportations, food, things like that. The university is not required to do that because you are simply taking a course, except that this course now is actual training outside. All these living accommodations and things like that, you really have to take care of it. I know some companies, they do pay their interns some amount of money to cover these, but I'm not sure if all of them do that. So after you guarantee your internship, I need you to fill out your name, your ID number, your major, the credit hours that you have so far, and the start and the end date. Those are very important, okay, for me, because I know when you're going to start and when you're going to end and when to expect your final report. Also, all the company's details over here. And this one is for my own self-record. You know, I keep it. And these are just simple instructions about the internship. So do you guys understand now what needs to be done from you? Now, I see in the chat that there are 7 students. Okay, some of you have secured their position already. So please fill out this form and send it to me. Tell me which company, when you're going to start, and when you are going to end. Is that clear? Do you guys have any question about this form? So we are okay with this? All right. So this form is only done by students who have already secured an internship position. All right. Now, as you go through the internship, now I provide you, or I will send your supervisor the mentor evaluation. If you remember, this carries 40% of your grade. Let's see what are the things that the mentor evaluation or the host organization that's going to host you, what do they need to do? First of all, You're gonna write your name, your ID number, major, and the host organization. That's where you work at, and the total number of hours that you have trained over there, and also the company information, as you notice over here. So this is filled by students. This is filled by mentor at host organization. That's your supervisor. Now, the mentor or the organization, the company that you work at, is going to fill out this information. Now, they're going to rate you from 0 to, let's say, to 4. 1 means unsatisfactory. Whatever item we have in this table, that means you didn't do it satisfactorily. 2 is satisfactory, good, or superior. So, for example, now let's say, for example, describe the basic operational principles of system and equipment in host organization. You just want to talk about the workplace that you worked at. Were you able, for example, to carry out the tasks assigned to you? So if your supervisor rate you as 1, it will say, or he will, or she will say that you did not really do a good job in that. So they give you 1. But if you did an excellent job, they will give you a 4, meaning that you were able to carry out all the tasks assigned to you. Complete the task in a timely manner. For example, they give you a task and they told you have 2 days to do it. So you either do it in 2 days or less. So that's good. And so on. So here, this just talks about you as a person. Were you able to do the tasks assigned to you? Were you willing to learn? Are you able to listen and discuss issues professionally? You don't get angry, you don't start fighting with people and so on, because you are an engineer, you're a professional. So you should be able to conduct yourself professionally as well. All right, so this talks about you. Now, this over here, which is the second item, is that were you able to work as a team, or part of a team? Teamwork, guys, is really extremely important in the workplace. Being a loner or trying to take the credit for yourself makes people hate you, okay? No one wants a know-it-all, or no one wants to deal with somebody who thinks that they know everything. So it is always better to work, wherever you work, is to be part of a team, because if the team wins, you win, okay? If the team loses, you lose. So try to always work in a group environment. Don't work by yourself and say, well, I did this, they didn't do anything. I am the one who achieved everything. This makes people, first of all, annoyed by you. They don't want to see you anymore. They don't want to work with you. So teamwork is very, very important. We're trying to promote this mentality, which is the mentality of teamwork, the ability to work in a team and be an integral part of this team. So let's see, what items go into working effectively in a team? Are you able to communicate effectively? Can you talk to people effectively, explain your ideas? Do you speak a good English, for example? Do you able to present your thoughts and your ideas in an effective and organized manner? For example, if I come and talk to you, you start, talking about 20 different subjects at the same time. So I get confused, you don't know what you're talking about, and so on. So that's not an effective way of communicating. You should have your thoughts organized in your brain. You know exactly what you want to talk about, and you talk about the most important thing first, and then you move on to the less important, so on. So in your brain, you're going to have a priority list. What item should I talk to about first and then next, and so on. Sometimes when you talk to your manager or to your CEO, they don't have a lot of time to sit down and listen to you talking about something for 1 hour, like I'm doing right now. Okay, you guys probably don't have time for that, but I'm trying to transfer my experience to you. We're talking like friends, not as an instructor or a teacher. So you always want to be brief. You always want to get to the point, not beat around the bushes and talk too much about something. Okay, get to the point. Say exactly what's important first, move on to the next important, and be very specific. Don't waste people's time, and so on. All right. Another thing, guys, I noticed with our students here at AUIS is that we are not really good listeners. And this is something that I want all of you to practice, uh, doing, which is becoming a good listener. Don't talk too much. Try to listen too much. Okay. Only talk when you feel like there is something worth saying to say. Now, if you listen more, you learn more. If you talk more, people will just want to stay away from you. Okay. They don't want to be around you because you just go on and on and on and on talking about something that is not, it might be important to you, but it might not be important to other people. So please, guys, as students and as professionals, as engineers, always try to listen much more than you talk. So if I want to put a percentage on listening, I would say 80%, 85% of the time listen, and only 15% of the time talk. All right? Because when you listen, you learn. Okay. When you talk, you don't learn, and you might actually get yourself in trouble. The more you talk, the more you get yourself in trouble. The more you listen, the more you learn. Okay. Now, suppose you're working with a team. I'm not going to go over all these items because we have a lot of them, but you can read them. Okay. But I'm going to tell you what is it that I'm looking for when you go work in a workplace. So we're talking about the team, and teamwork is very important to me. Let's say you and your friends are working on a team, you disagree on something, you don't start cussing each other out, or you don't talk to each other anymore, or you go behind their backs and start saying this guy is bad and so on. No. The way to resolve this conflict is professionally, and the professional way is to sit down with the person that you have a conflict with and realize that this conflict is not personal, it's professional. It's something that's related to work. It's not related to my personality or your personality. We could be, me and you, good friends, but we disagree on something. Okay. That doesn't mean that we're no longer friends. This is disagreement on work related things, but my relationship with you as a friend should stay the same. Or we could hate each other. Okay. We cannot stand each other. But when we work together, we have to work together and do resolve our conflicts based on what's required work-wise, not based on how I feel about you and so on. Okay, so don't bring personal things into your professional work. Leave the personal things aside when you work with people. Only focus on the work. Sometimes, you have to be a leader. So the leadership, usually people who are leaders, they step in when there's a lack of decision-making people. So if you work with a team and you guys are all confused, you don't know what to do, you find a person pops from there and say, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do, and let's go with this option. This is really a leadership. And of course, the confidence, the ability to speak, ability to lead people, to convince them is very important in teams. So if you have these qualities, you will be a good leader. Okay. And professional conduct, it's always very important that you guys conduct yourself professionally at the workplace. For example, and excuse me for saying this, but I am, you're consider me your older brother. You work, for example, with males and females and things like that. You cannot, for example, as a male, you cannot start bothering, let's say, females with things outside work-related things. A lot of times, people conduct themselves unprofessionally. This is very, very bad. Okay, you have to respect your coworkers, whether they are females, males, older people, younger people. You're not better than anyone else. The relationship between you and your coworkers is strictly professional. Don't put or get any personal thing into the subject. Don't bother people. Don't go off the line and start, bothering people. Some people are very, very uncomfortable with this. So you have to be careful. All right. Focus on the common goal of the team. Don't focus on yourself. Focus on what the team needs to do. A lot of things over here, for example, This one over here, manage time and resources. You have to be effective in managing your time and organize your resources. You have certain amount of money that you work with. You have to be able to spend it wisely and get the things that needs. If you know, you have to be good at communicating and writing and orally. So, for example, if your boss asks you to submit a report, you do a good report. If they ask you to submit a presentation, you do an excellent presentation. You know, you're confident, you're talking, you know what you're talking about. Don't put anything that you don't know something about into your presentation, because somebody will ask you a question and you'll just stand there like a fool, you know, saying, well, I just found this on the internet, I don't really know. So you only talk about the things that you have information about. Work ethics and behavior, as we said, is very important. You have to be fair to people. You have to respect the rules and regulations of the company that you work with. Take your responsibility for your own mistakes. If you broke something or if you did a mistake, say, well, don't blame it on somebody else. If you did it, actually, just say, well, it's my mistake. I am the one who did that mistake. So this is makes people respect you, although they might be angry at you, but you know, they will respect you for taking responsibility for something wrong that you have done. Accept constructive criticism. For example, somebody tells you that this is not the correct way to do it, you should do it that way. Don't take it personal and say, well, you know, who are you to tell me this? No, that's not good. If the team, for example, this is the last point, and this is actually very important, don't claim credit for the work and achievements of others. If you work with people and, for example, you achieve something and everybody is happy with it, don't say, well, I am the one who did that, they didn't do it. No, you know, give the credit to the people who did the work. Don't try to hide that. It always works against you. Now, this is over here, your mentor is going to write a statement about just explaining, you know, what you did. This over here is a schedule of the dates that you worked, when did you start, when did you end, number of hours, and the tasks that you have done. So it took me a long time to establish this form, because I'm looking for very specific things at your work area. This is over here, as you notice, it's the rating of your mentor. So overall rating of the training. The company is going to rate you now. Okay. Now they're going to say, for example, you are committed to the tasks assigned to you. You take things seriously. Okay. Ethical behavior and honesty. You're an honest. You behave professionally. You have good teamwork and skills and interpersonal skills and so on. You learned a lot. Attitude, your attitude is positive. You're not always pessimistic and, you know, upset and so on. You attend all the time. Interpersonal skills, how you deal with your coworkers and the people that work with you. How do you communicate verbally and in written format? Care about the organization properties and assets. You don't go around, you know, breaking things or taking things to your house. You know, if you have like printer papers, you just grab a whole pack and say, well, I'll just take this home because I need it. You can't do that. All right. And also look at this final question over here. Would you consider hiring the trainee as a full-time engineer? This is really shows how your boss thinks about you. Now, if they are impressed with you, they would actually hire you as a full-time. So this is a very important question, number 10. If they write 4 over here, that means you did an excellent job and they are actually willing to hire you. I'm sorry I'm taking a long time from you guys, but I think that this is very important. Do you have any question? So this over here, these results, guys, you are not going to see it because this is confidential information. This is the evaluation of the company of you as a trainee. And it will come to me, and based on that, I will give you 40% of the grade, because each one of these, if you remember, the mentor evaluation or mentor survey carries 40% of the grade. Now, after you finish your internship, or during your internship in the 3rd week, you need to send me a progress report. Let me show you the report template. By the way, before we move on, do you guys have any questions? So everything is okay? I see somebody asking in the chat. Karzok is asking me, should we send step 2 to you or take it back to the company? No, step 2 is the, if you remember, the form that we need to, from you to submit to me. This one, you bring it back to me. Please send it, fill it completely, your name, the company information, and the start and end date, and send it to me. I need that sent to me because this, I keep it in my records. I know exactly which company you're working at, and when you're gonna start and when you're gonna end. The logistics of the internship course is very annoying. It's a lot because I have to keep track of 32 students. I know exactly where they at, when did they start, who's their supervisor, what is their supervisor evaluation of them. So it's a nightmare actually. So if you do things right, you will help me do a better job in managing this class. All right, so we talked about the mentor evaluation. Let's take a look at the report template. Please, guys, stick to this format. We want to be all consistent. I want all the internship reports to have the same cover page and same format. Now, over here, your name, your ID number, your signature, you could have one or more supervisors. For example, you work in 2 or 3 different divisions. In each division in the company, you work under a certain supervisor. So you could have one, and if you have one, you just put their name and their position. If you have more than one, put their name and their each supervisor's name and position. Now, the title over here is what kind of a company you worked at and what kind of project you worked at. So for example, you work at Qiwan Group in, I don't know, the 100-meter road construction project, for example. I mean, just, and here you just write the year. So the red ones needs to be filled. Executive summary here, you summarize to me in half a page. What exactly did you do? Okay, what did you learn and so on. So it's, are you guys familiar with how to write a technical report? I think I have that, I shared it with you, how to write a technical report. So I'll make sure that you guys have it because writing a technical report is part of your skill as an engineer, how to write a technical report and make an impressive report. Executive summary is about a page or half a page. You summarize exactly everything in your report. Now, here you should have a table of contents and each topic chose on which page. Now, if you have figures and so on, you put it in there. Introduction, you talk about the company, the kind of work they do, the kind of industry they're in, what are their products, who are their customers, how much they produce, and so on. And then you talk, this is introduction, for example, 1.1, that means 1.1, 1.2 are part of your introduction. So first you talk about the company, and then you talk about their products and their work. Now in section number 2, you talk about your internship experience. What equipment did you work with? What kind of products you work at, worked on, what kind of machines you worked on, and so on. So now this is over here, a problem statement. What was your job description? What kind of work have you focused on? All right. Here you talk about background, you give information about the products, types of machines you have worked on, and so on. So this is all self-explanatory. You just need to fill out these items. Now, sometimes, for example, you work in, let's say in an office work. You don't have any machines that you worked at. You're mainly using, for example, a computer and some software and so on. So if you don't have machines or something that you worked on, you can just ignore this altogether. Hi guys, this is a general form that works for all reports. Now, if you have information related to 4.1, for example, put it. If you don't have it, just remove 4.1 altogether. Say, I understand that you did not work on any machines, for example, that cutting metal or welding or something. So this, excuse me, This is just general. So if you have information about this item, put it in there. If you don't, then you don't. You don't have to make up stuff. So this is how the report looks like. Each one of these, for example, conclusions, you have to conclude. What did you learn? What was the product? Did you improve anything? Did you learn anything? References, for example, if you have documents from the companies, they gave you a catalog, they gave you a graph, they gave you, I don't know, something, guidelines to use in your work. So you can just put that in there. Now, appendices, anything that was given to you, for example, a catalog or a picture that was handed to you by the thing, you put it in these appendices, by itself at the end. So I'll know that this is not really something that you worked on. Now, the progress report and the final report should have the same format, which means that after 3 weeks, you're going to do this report. And then after 4 or 5 weeks, you're just going to come back and update this report. That will help you get this report done, in a timely manner. You don't hurry up and do it in 2 days and so on. Okay. Are you guys okay with this? Any question? All right. Now, that's how the report template. Now, this is how I'm going to evaluate your report. This is, it says final report. If you look over here, internship final report guidelines. This is the guidelines. It tells you what needs to be in the report and how much weight is going to be on this. So the most important things is that the title page, the executive summary, which is a summary of the report, the entire report, table of contents, list of figures, summer internship experience. Of course, all the items are available in the report. Special topics about your project, what kind of project you worked at, the problem statement and goal, what was the problem that you worked in. For example, you're making cement, but this cement comes out, for example, it doesn't really react very well with water and it doesn't harden quickly. So, your company is trying to improve that product. So this is the problem that they had, and they put you in that project to figure out a way to improve that product. Okay, references, figures, and so on. Now, if you do what you're required to do, or if you do a good job on that, you basically, this is, if you complete all the tasks, for example, you get somewhere between 23 and 25%. Okay, if you organize your report very well, you get 25%. And if the technical information and the way you present your report is good, you get another 50%. So in total, you have 100% on the report. Now, this 100% will be equivalent to 40% of your total grade. So if you get 100% on your report, that means you get 40% of your final grade, which is significant. Okay, guys? So read these documents, guys, please, and make sure you understand what should go into the report, how should it look like, and so on. Now, I do have how to write a technical report. I think I did not add it to here. I will add it to you guys. It's a video that we did last year. There is no point from going over it again. So please, I will send you the link once I'm done with it. Watch it. That will help you figure out how to write a technical report. I see some students like Diaco, for example, they took the senior design project with me last year, and they know exactly how to write the technical report. Right, Diaco? I mean, they did a good job writing technical reports. So this is something that all engineers should be able to do and do it very well. That's all I have to say to you guys. And if you have any question, please ask, and you're welcome to. Just look out for my emails. And we will keep trying. Me and Amir are trying to get you guys the internships, but also because of this COVID situation and stuff, I want you also as students to look by yourself, don't rely on us. Look by yourself for companies that are willing to, if you know people in these companies, if you, so far I have 4 positions, I think 3 mechanical and 1 civil. So if anyone interested, send me an email. I will try to send your names to these companies. That's it. That's all I have. Is there anything that I said that you guys did not understand or you're not sure of? Of course, everything I said is actually in our Google Classroom. I still have to add the how to write the technical report video to that, so you guys can see it. All right. So we're all good?
Doctor, I have a question.
Sure, Zahra. Come on, go on.
I registered my name for the internship that the engineering club provided, but I'm not sure I'm gonna be accepted because there are a lot of students there. So will you by any chance be able to provide internships for energy engineering students?
I am doing my best to get you guys internship. Amir from the engineering club is also doing his best. So, and I also want you to do your best to get, so let's work together, all 3 of us, the department, the engineering club, and you as a student, to find an internship for you. Whichever comes first will work first. And if you find one and we find you one, then you can keep yours and we will give the one that we found to somebody else. So it's all really like a teamwork, we work together, and whichever materializes, we will use.
Okay, thank you.
I have, yes, I will share this video after I finish this video. After we finish this meeting, I will share it with you on YouTube. I will send you the link. I don't know if all of you accepted the invitation to join the course, but if you didn't, please do that so you will receive my emails and communications. Anybody else, anybody in you guys or among you has a family business or a company that could actually help other students in this class to get an internship? If you do, send me an email, okay, and I will share your email with the other students. If you have, for example, your dad or your uncle, or you have a business and you're willing to help 1 or 2 students train, that will be nice as well. So as we said, it's all for the common cause of you getting the training. If you have something like that, send me an email and tell me that we could, for example, have 1 civil engineer, 1 mechanical engineer to train at our company, for example, for the period of 4 weeks. That would be very nice of you if you do that. Okay, any more questions, guys? So we're all good, we're okay. Cool. All right, I think we are in business. All right, thank you very much. If you don't have any more questions, if you need anything, let me know. I will do my best to help. And also, you do your best to try to find an internship. I did not really expect that many students to be in this class this summer. Usually we get 10, 12 students, but this time I'm impressed, 32 students want to take the internship, which is really good. That means it's becoming popular now, which is good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, doctor.
And apology
Thank you,
for
doctor.
no problem.
Thank you, doctor.
You are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice night. Good night, guys.
See you, sir.
All right.